Curious about what Waikiki looks like right now? As part of our Waikiki Now series, we're showing you what Waikiki looks like right now. For more Hawaii videos, make sure you're subscribed and click that notification bell so you're alerted every time we post a new video. Aloha, I'm Mariam and this is Yes to Hawaii. We make Hawaii videos take the guesswork out of planning your trip. As always, I'll leave timestamps in the description box below, so feel free to skip around the video for the parts that you came here for. Good morning! It is now Saturday morning around 7:20, mid-October, and we are going to start our walk here. Again, one of my favorite places for morning walks, over here at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. Coming up here on the left-hand side is their Lagoon services and towels area. So this part over here, you can actually rent chairs, umbrellas, you can rent surfboards, kayaks, whatever else you need. This is all open to the public. I've had a few subscribers ask what the price point for these are, especially the surf lessons, so I wanted to make sure to stop by that area. This area over here to my right-hand side, if you haven't been here before, this is the Hilton Hawaiian Village's saltwater lagoon. It's not connected to the ocean, very shallow as well, so you'll often see a lot of families over here, especially those with younger kids who maybe want to go swimming but don't want to go swimming in open water ocean. This is a perfect, nice, calm area. Over here to the right-hand side, this is how it looks pretty much all day in terms of the weather, or excuse me, the water being very, very flat, because again, it's not connected to the ocean. It's still early morning at this point, and it always surprises me when I do these walks how many people are still up this early in the morning. I had actually started this walk and thought I might as well film it because I'm sure some of you are curious, how has the crowd, especially in Waikiki specifically, how has that crowd been affected now that we're no longer in our peak summer season, June, July, and August? So as you can see, it's still a little bit busy, and again, it is only 7:15, 7:30 in the morning at this point, so it will get quite a bit crowded later on in the day. However, I did want to start this walk in the morning, so those of you who are interested in being away from the crowds, know that you can still have that little bit of a crowd-free time or crowd-free area in Waikiki. Just start earlier in the morning. But as you can see, it's still only about 7:30 in the morning and people have already started to post up to enjoy the beach. So we're going to keep going down this walk here. Again, this is the walk right by the Hilton Hawaiian Village. Over here to my right-hand side is the Hilton Pier. If you do decide to do like a snorkel cruise through Hilton or one of their sunset cruises or just day sails, that is the pier that you'll be going out of. That is the only docked catamaran up along this beach area. So for anybody where mobility may be a factor, or if you don't want to walk out into the water on, say, a beach catamaran like the other catamarans, this might be a good option because there, again, it's a dock that you would walk out onto and then board the boat that way, compared to beach catamarans where you're actually walking out into the water. You know, the water is going to be at least knee deep and getting on the boat that way. For most people, it doesn't quite matter, but for some people, accessibility may be a factor. So this is always something that I want to make sure to mention, especially when I see people who are looking to do catamarans. But again, accessibility may be a bit of a factor. As you can see here, there's a lot of people out this morning, and it's only about 7:30 in the morning at this point. A lot of people come out here to catch the morning. Over here on my left-hand side, we've got Tropics. That's one of the restaurants you can stop in and eat at. As you can see on the left-hand side, people are up, people are having breakfast this early in the morning. We've got some people on the right-hand side over here playing volleyball. This entire stretch of beach is typically very packed later on in the day, but as you can see, again, it's only about 7:30 in the morning. We're gonna head through this area and I'm gonna walk down for today's Waikiki Now. We're gonna walk down this main sidewalk area. We're gonna pass by the Hale Koa Military Hotel. We're gonna hook a left onto where the Outrigger Reef Waikiki Beach Resort is, and then we're gonna go up to Kalakaua Avenue. This entire walk is about 20 to 25 minutes or so. We're gonna head through this area and I'm gonna share with you guys a little bit of the things that I've noticed, especially now that we're coming up to October. So it's no longer peak summer season again. It's no longer June, July, August. We are in October now. October tends to be a little bit more calm, but it's hard to see completely in this video, but it is a little bit more overcast. It had been raining for the past couple of days and we're beginning our rainy season. October and November tends to be a lot more rainy than it is in June, July, and August. And then December and January is the beginning of our big wave season. So if you're interested in seeing the big waves up on the North Shore, December and January is the best time of year to come for that. Definitely not in our summer months. It's in reverse. So in June, July, and August are South Shore, the Waikiki area, is going to be a little bit bigger waves, not as big as the North Shore, of course, but bigger compared to how they normally are, and the North Shore is very flat. However, in our winter season, it's in reverse. The North Shore has these gigantic waves and the South Shore is very, very flat. This area over here to my left-hand side is the Hale Koa Military Hotel. They also have a small restaurant and bar over here that is open to the public. If you are military or have military ID, you can get a little bit of a discount on their drinks and food. So if you are military, this might be a good place for you to stop at. Even if you're not staying at the hotel, again, it is open to the public. They just offer some savings for those who are military, either active or retired. On the right-hand side over here, this huge stretch of beach. As you can see, super gorgeous, super empty in the morning. So if you're looking to have a nice morning walk and have the ocean view, you can follow this path that I'm following right now. You're gonna have the ocean on your right-hand side for most of the walk. I see a lot of people walking on Kalakaua Avenue in the morning, but realistically, Kalakaua Avenue is great, but it's all shops and hotels. If you follow this path right here, you're on the sidewalk or the promenade the entire time. So you don't have to necessarily walk in the sand. You can put on your tennis shoes. Super easy and comfortable to do. And it's really quiet. Like, we're passing some people here and there, of course, because there are people out, but compared to the middle of the day, this is almost, I hate to say it, almost like deserted compared to how it will be later on in the morning around 10, 11, 12 o'clock or so, when all of this beach area is going to be super, super crowded. But this is one of, again, my favorite walks I like to do here in Waikiki, especially in the mornings, just because I like having the ocean to my right-hand side. And yes, I could do a walk along the beach, but it's hard to see, you can't see in this video, but I'm actually wearing tennis shoes. I'd rather walk on the sidewalk. Coming up ahead, as you can see far, far out in the front, that is Diamond Head Crater. If you did want to hike Diamond Head Crater, if you didn't already know, keep in mind Diamond Head does require a reservation. You can get the reservation through the state. It's super easy to do on their website. I'll leave a link in the description box below. You pay the state $5 for the reservation and you pick a specific date and a specific time. Now, while some people are kind of against this reservation system, as somebody who hikes Diamond Head pretty regularly, I think it is an amazing system. And the reason for this is before, people would always go to hike in the morning between, say, 6 and 8 o'clock. So it was so packed that you could barely move in the morning. And then later on in the day, it's less crowded, of course. But with the reservation system, it kind of splits up the people who are going for the hike throughout the entire day, so it's less crowded. The last time I did this hike, I want to say it was maybe a couple weeks ago, and it was around 7 in the morning. Because of the more organized system for the amount of people that are allowed to enter for both the reservation system as well as the parking, it was considerably less crowded. It was kind of like walking through Waikiki and still seeing people out, obviously doing the hike, but not anywhere near as packed as it used to be. So I think it's a great option, and it's still easy to do. I've seen people get tickets even just the day before. But keep in mind the 6, 7, and 8 o'clock time slot typically does book up a little bit in advance. So if it's something that you want to do and it's on your bucket list to hike Diamond Head Crater, make sure that you definitely book that reservation time in for those early morning time slots. Now, you can do the hike, of course, throughout the day up until I think it's 4 o'clock is the last reservation time, but oh my goodness, I hate birds. Whew. Okay, anyway, you can continue to do the reservations throughout the day. Some people will go in the afternoon, but keep in mind that Diamond Head Crater, there's absolutely no shade whatsoever. You're in the heat of the day if you were to go around 11, 12, or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you do decide to do that time, make sure you wear plenty of sunscreen, bring bottled water. There is a water refill fountain or water refill station by the bathrooms over there by Diamond Head Crater. So once you enter the crater, you'll pass by the little ticketing kiosk, and then there'll be the public restrooms. Just beside the public restrooms, there's a water fountain. If you need to refill your water, that would be the only water fountain that is available, because once you start the hike, there's nothing else, no other restrooms and no other water fountains. This specific area, I gotta say, Diamond Head is one of my favorite hikes. It's close to Waikiki. It's not a super strenuous hike. It's something that you can easily do in about an hour, hour and a half. Quick, easy, quick gratification, gorgeous views, and you can't really go wrong. Plus, the hike is very, very well maintained. So if you were to hike alone, it's something that I hike regularly by myself because it's well trafficked, well maintained. I feel very safe going on this hike. I'm not sure what I'm doing there, why I'm pausing. So anyway, A little bit farther up ahead, we have the Waikiki Shore Hotel. This is like a little condo area, and if you haven't been to this area before, this is also where Steak Shack is located, and they also have Banan, which has really good kind of like ice cream shaped ice and whatnot. Over here, they also have a little beach shack area, and I'm gonna zoom into this because I've had people ask me this question for the beach services, what it costs for umbrellas and chairs, snorkel mask and fins, kayak, surfboard rentals, stand-up paddleboard rentals. These are the prices and the hours. As of right now, we're 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. So again, this right here is located right by the Waikiki Shore Hotel, kind of right by the Outrigger Reef Hotel. And of course, there is Steak Shack. Super tasty, would definitely recommend. One of my favorite places to grab a quick bite to eat. And you can grab the food there and then just head over to the beach to enjoy the sunset, a nice little, I guess, oceanfront dinner without paying oceanfront dining prices. Over here on my left-hand side is the Fort Derussy Army Museum. Currently it is closed at the time of this filming. It's set to reopen either at the end of this year or early next year. You can check their website for their most updated details. As we're walking through here, just to kind of get your bearings, on the left-hand side is the Trump Hotel, and then on the right-hand side over here is the Outrigger Reef Waikiki Beach Resort. Now this is not to be confused with the Outrigger Waikiki Beach Resort, which is over kind of in the center of Waikiki. On the left-hand side over here is the Embassy Suites. There's also a cafe that's over there, and I'm kind of pointing up so you can see the difference. The Outrigger Reef has this kind of like A-frame right here in the center. They have one main restaurant there, which is the Kanikapila Grill. Really good spot to grab a bite to eat. It's kind of their poolside restaurant. No ocean views or anything for the restaurant, but a good place to grab a bite to eat. And they also have live music from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. This is one of their cafes over here across the street. This is not affiliated with the Outrigger, of course. This is separate, but really good place to grab a quick bite to eat for breakfast. Coming up here, right up ahead, you can see some of the other hotels in this viewpoint here. On the right-hand side over here is the Halekulani Hotel. Halekulani is, again, oceanfront hotel as well. And then just the left over there is the Sheraton Waikiki Hotel. So they're all kind of side by side as well. Just to my left-hand side over here is Roy's Waikiki, another popular spot for dining, and up ahead is the Imperial Resort. So that restaurant that you can see, which is all glass, that is Denny's. That one is open 24/7. Denny's Diner, also a really good spot, especially for some of my East Coasters or those who might be up really early in the morning at 3 or 4 a.m. due to the time change. That's another really good spot if you want to grab a quick bite to eat, but again, not spend a ton and also be 24/7. Over here on my right-hand side is one of many ABC stores. This one has a full deli in the back as well. So if you wanted to grab a bite to eat and bring it with you to the beach, they've got some cold food such as like sandwiches, fruit. They do have drinks, alcohol, whatever else that you wanted to pick up. But in the back, they also have a full deli for hot foods too. Coming up ahead here is the Waikiki Beach Walk area. So this area has a lot of shopping and dining. Some of these restaurants are not going to be open till later in the day. There's a few cafes over here that are open. On the left-hand side over here, just as a point of reference, Yard House is to my left-hand side, and then this area has 2 floors. There's an escalator, which I just passed. There's a couple surf shops here. We can see Rip Curl. There's also Mahina, which is a nice clothing store that's over here. And then up above, there's also like a nail salon and a few other stops. There's also Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, which is on the top floor over here. So this entire area, again, as you can see, it's still early in the morning. Most of these shops haven't opened yet. And then this is coming soon. It looks like Nali, which is a health food bar. Over here is the Wyland Art Gallery. And then we're gonna walk a little bit farther up, and you can see on the right-hand side, top right-hand side, where those green umbrellas are, that's the Starbucks. Just to kind of give you a few points of reference as we're walking down through here. So again, this area that we're walking down, the actual street name is Lewers Street, but it's called the Waikiki Beach Walk. It's like the shopping area that's over here on this side. There's a few shops over to my left that are open. Again, there's another ABC store coming up here on the left-hand side. Lots of ABC stores all throughout Waikiki if you haven't already noticed, or if you haven't been here before. Lots of ABC stores. It's a great place if you want to grab a quick bite to eat. Food, drink, snack, sunscreen, pretty much anything that you would need. They have it throughout the Waikiki area at the ABC stores. Over here on the right-hand side is the Starbucks that I mentioned earlier. The intersection that we're coming up to is the intersection of Lewers Street and Kalakaua Avenue. So the street you see up ahead, this main street, is Kalakaua Avenue. So as we head up ahead, over here on the right-hand side, we're gonna see the Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center. So Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center to my right, where these red umbrellas are, this is the P.F. Chang's, and coming up ahead over here on the right-hand side is the Tiffany's. As you can see, when we get closer into the main area where Kalakaua is located, it is a lot more busier in this section. So as you can see, we've got a little bit of traffic, not a ton of traffic. And again, this intersection is the intersection of Kalakaua and Lewers Street. So from here, I'm going to take a right, walking the same direction as traffic, if you did want to kind of follow this path for your own exploration. Over here on the right, we've got Tiffany's. And as we go a little bit farther down, this entire shopping complex to my right-hand side is Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center. Now, Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center, besides being a shopping center, of course, they do have other more affordable options besides, say, like the Tiffany's. They've got a couple shops that are in there that are smaller, a bit more local. They've also got quite a few luxury stores. Typically, the luxury stores are going to be, as you can see, on the right-hand side, facing out on Kalakaua Avenue. They do have quite a few restaurants in this entire complex. As you can see, we're still walking, and this entire section is Royal Hawaiian Avenue. They do have a food court located on the second floor, so it's a really good, inexpensive place to grab a bite to eat. Again, either to eat at the food court or to take with you out to the beach, whatever you prefer. This intersection is the intersection of Kalakaua Avenue, and this street right here is Royal Hawaiian Avenue. On my left-hand side over there, you can see in the corner there's a Victoria's Secret. There's also a Sephora, and there's two restaurants, Tanaka of Tokyo, and there's also Buho, which is a Mexican restaurant. We're gonna walk ahead over here, still Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center on our right-hand side. So you can see there's quite a few people up, awake, running. Kalakaua Avenue is also a really good place, starting about this area here if you did want to go for a morning run. The reason why is if you stay on the right-hand side, pretty much from here on out, you're not going to hit any traffic lights or stoplights. If you're on the left-hand side, there's quite a few stoplights, but if you're on the right-hand side, you're not going to have any traffic lights. You can pretty much run the entire way if you want to go for a morning jog. The intersection to my left is again the intersection of Kalakaua Avenue, which is this main street, and Seaside Avenue. We just passed a H&M, and then down the road there's also a Ross. There's also a few restaurants and smaller hotels that are on that Seaside Avenue. We're still on the main street, which is Kalakaua Avenue, and on the right-hand side, still the Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center. You can see quite a few more luxury stores here, and there's also an Apple store coming up here on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, we've passed a Foot Locker, a few restaurants. You can also see some stages are being set up. The reason some of these stages are being set up is today at the time of this filming, which is Saturday morning, it's the Pride Parade. So from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., this entire street is going to be shut down for Pride. This is something really important to note, not only for today, but just in general. If you're staying in Waikiki, you want to make sure that you double check to see if there's any parades that are coming in town, either parades or festivals, because this entire area, Kalakaua Avenue, is the area that's blocked off. So if you're staying at an oceanfront property such as Outrigger, Waikiki, Moana, Surfrider, or any of these ones over here on the left-hand side, this is something to note because if you're driving in, you will not be able to drive down this street. You might have to check with your hotel for any alternative parking, or if you're leaving to catch a flight, this is something to also keep in mind. The traffic coming into the parade can be at a standstill because there's a little bit of a bottleneck at the beginning of Kalakaua Avenue. All this traffic is getting rerouted over to Kuhio Avenue, but it can be quite slow, especially coming in from the Macaulay area or even coming in off of Ala Moana Boulevard. So again, this is something to keep in mind if you are coming here to Waikiki on a day that could potentially have a parade either in the morning or a festival in the afternoon. This is something to double check with your hotel to see if there are any events that are happening the day that you're arriving or the day that you're departing. I especially wanted to mention this because I know some travelers, because they're only carrying maybe say carry-on luggage, they might only want to get to the airport an hour, hour and a half prior, but with a Waikiki parade or a Waikiki festival, the traffic is notoriously bad. So your transit time, instead of taking only 25 minutes to half an hour, it can take you upwards of an hour. So you want to kind of keep that in mind, and again, double check with your hotel for any festivals that are going to be going on during the time that you arrive or depart. To my left-hand side over here is the International Marketplace. So this spot also has the Tesla store. There's also a Rolex, a Balenciaga. There's a few restaurants on that main level as well, plus on the rooftop level. Over here on my right-hand side is the Moana Surfrider Hotel. Over here, the ones that has the columns here on the right-hand side, again, Moana Surfrider Hotel. As you can see, it's still decently busy for about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning at this point. There's people definitely out and about. Lots of things that you could do in terms of grabbing a bite to eat, going to cafe, breakfast. Some people are out here doing their workouts. You've got a person on the right hand side running in the morning. I am definitely not running this morning. I am doing a leisurely stroll as I'm filming this for you guys. Coming up ahead here, we've got the Biki bikes. If you haven't seen these before, you can actually rent these bikes directly from that kiosk, or you can download the Biki bike app. There's instructions on the kiosk over here. You can rent these bikes in half-an-hour segments. You can also rent them for longer. You'll essentially take the bike off this rack here, bike to the next station, and then you can go, you can bike to the next station and then you can leave the bike there. So you don't have to worry about locking it with like an external lock. It just clicks right back into the station. Once you download the app, a really good thing about that is you can check the app and you can know how many open stations or how many bicycles are available at that specific station, so you're not wasting minutes to go to a station that's already full and you can't leave your bike. So this intersection right here, on my left-hand side, which it's hard to see right now, but on my left-hand side is the Hyatt Regency Hotel. And over here, coming up ahead, still the Moana Surfrider, and then up in the corner over there is the Waikiki Police Station. We're gonna cross the street over here. Still, again, it's getting busier and busier as we get more in the center part of Waikiki versus how it was when we were on the edge of Waikiki over by the Hilton Hawaiian Village. This is important to note too. Even though it's busy in this section, it can be a lot quieter as you leave the center of Waikiki. Even if it's later in the afternoon, over by the Hilton Hawaiian Village, it is still busy, but it can be less busy than in this area just because this is where a lot of the hotels are concentrated. Up here on the right-hand side is the Waikiki Police Station. And so you can see the blue lights over here to the left-hand side, and that hotel again to the left-hand side is the Hyatt Regency Hotel. You can see signage up here about the zoo. We do have a zoo here in Waikiki. From where I am right now at the police station, I want to say it's about like a 10-minute walk. Really small zoo, but good option for kids, especially for families if you want to spend a couple hours. They do have a playground there. They sell Dippin' Dots ice cream. Good little spot if you want to check out for a couple hours. To my right-hand side over here are public restrooms. And then we're going to keep going a little bit farther down. It's so nice that the weather is nice again. Like I said earlier in the video, the past few days it has been kind of overcast, a little bit of rain here and there, but now the weather is a lot nicer and should be nice for the rest of the week. So as you can see on my right hand side, it's a lot busier in this section of Waikiki versus how it was earlier in the beginning of the video, because it gets quite a bit crowded as you get into the center part of Waikiki. Coming up here on my right hand side is the Duke statue. Right here you'll also note there'll be a few different catamarans that come up along this area. There's also a trolley stop right in front of the Duke statue as well. Up ahead here is a huge banyan tree. This is often a popular spot for photos as well. On the left-hand side over here, you see the Billabong store and a few other shops. Hope you like video so you can see what Waikiki looks like right now. I hope you guys liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And if there's any other Hawaii videos you'd like to see, definitely leave them in the comments down below.